And as I have hovered around their joy, I have discovered some common nutrients. Nutrients that, if they were to be bottled up and disseminated as sort of a blueprint for cultural regeneration, might just spark a much-needed wave of peace, walking in power, of rehumanizing waters, filling the desert of a dehumanized land. I'm going to present them to you by way of closing here, my own closing, and bridge to David's remarks. And I'm going to present them to you in the form of questions so that you might hear them as an invitation just to ponder whether or not what I am naming as a set of principles or ingredients, do they approximate a community, initiative, cause, or movement that you're involved with either here in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, this broader region, that is seeking to help us move, to be very dramatic, not towards war, but towards renewal. So here they are. Things that I've observed in all sorts of efforts, kind of like this community renewal you just saw. 1, a dream for all. Is there a logic concerned with the moral transformation of everyone, not just the protection of some? Is there a constructive vision elevated by a transcendent pulse, a telos anchored in love? 2, personalism. Are the called welcomed into conversion themselves, where the transformation of their own hearts and minds is the basis for changing the state of play for others? 3, embodiment. Is there an attempt to create an alternative world that approximates the vision, with boundaries, norms, and rituals established for a group of the willing to become the change they seek out in the world? Moral articulation, are behavioral norms articulated clearly? Is there an aspirational identity named and modeled? Co-creation, are there opportunities for creative expression in song, art, and collaborative work? Truth-telling, has a space been created to tell and receive the truth? Is there a structure for forgiveness and mutual accountability? Proximity to pain, are participants close to those who suffer? Sacrifice, is the leader willing to lead vulnerably and sacrificially? Is the leader practicing what he or she is preaching? 9, concreteness, does the leader have the clarity of conviction to speak plainly from the wisdom earned from working within particular trenches, foregoing abstractions, anonymity, and vague verbiage? That's someone who lives in DC, so that's a little soapbox about that. Holy friendship, does the leader maintain a multi-generational circle of friends who will encourage, admonish, and speak truth to him or her in private? An unlikely community, is the seedbed community intentional about inviting different ways of knowing, skill sets, and vocational roles? Is it leavened by those our world often considers weak? Social architecture, is there a vision for organizational coordination? Does it have a strategy to affect the grain of organizations and not simply convene and nourish the individual leaders at the tippy top? 13, competence, does it value mastery of a domain, deploying excellence in craft toward the fulfillment of a dream? Wisdom about time, is the seedbed community patient? Does it take the long view that understands the important role of the hidden and the underground, even as it is vigilant in moral formation and trust building so as to be resourceful when crises come? We're almost finished here. Number 15, children. Are children carried by the community, if not in work and presence, then in conscience and telos? And then finally, fruit. Is the life of the seedbed leading to whole and integrated persons, reconciled relationships, a spillover of vitality and deep connection? Are selfishness, pride, stagnancy, and chaos actively fading out? There you are, a little recipe, not to war, but to renewal.